They called it the Forgotten War, but for millions, it was unforgettable. A war where brothers turned guns on each other, where entire cities vanished in fire, where peace never came, only silence. This is the story of a war that never truly ended, the Korean War. It started with surrender. August 1945. World War II ends. Japan, defeated, releases its hold on Korea after 35 brutal years of colonization. But freedom comes at a cost. Without asking the Korean people, the world's new superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union, divide the country along the 38th parallel. North becomes communist, backed by Moscow. South becomes capitalist, backed by Washington. Two new leaders emerge. Kim Il-sung in the north, Syngman Rhee in the south. Both claim to lead all of Korea. Both dream of unification. But only one will strike first. And what happened next? Shocked the world. June 25, 1950. At dawn, 75,000 North Korean troops storm across the 38th parallel. Tanks roll, artillery thunders, families wake up to war. Seoul falls in just 3 days. In the south, panic. Soldiers retreat, civilians flee, fathers carry their children, mothers wail beside shattered homes. The United Nations, led by the United States, responds. Within weeks, 16 countries send troops. America sends over 300,000. But in the early days, it looks like the war is lost. The South is pushed to a tiny corner, the Pusan perimeter. Soldiers fight with backs to the sea. Supplies run low. Heat scorches the earth. Bodies rot in the sun. But they hold the line. And then, a miracle. Enter General Douglas MacArthur, a legend, a risk-taker. He plans something bold, an amphibious landing at Incheon, behind enemy lines. September 15, 1950. At high tide, U.S. Marines storm ashore. The North Koreans are caught off guard, completely surrounded. Within days, Seoul is recaptured. North Korean troops retreat in chaos. Thousands surrender. Thousands more vanish into the hills. The UN pushes north, past the 38th parallel. They reach the Yalu River, the border with China. The war should have ended here, but it didn't, because in the mountains of Manchuria, an army was waiting. October 1950. Under the cover of night and snow, 300,000 Chinese troops crossed the Yalu River. No tanks, no radios, just speed, stealth, and sheer numbers. They strike with fury, screaming, charging with bayonets. Entire U.S. divisions collapse. It's called the Chosin Reservoir. American troops, surrounded and freezing, fight in 30-degree C temperatures. Guns jam. Medics cry as limbs turn black with frostbite. But they don't break. Retreat? Hell, we're just attacking in a different direction. General Oliver Smith. The UN forces fall back. Seoul is lost again. The war becomes a deadly back and forth. Mountains claimed, then lost, then claimed again, and as generals fight over inches, civilians suffer. By 1951, the front freezes near the 38th parallel. But the bombs don't stop. U.S. planes drop over 635,000 tons of bombs on the north. Entire cities flattened, dams destroyed, crops drowned, villages erased from maps. We killed civilians by the thousands. We never talked about it. U.S. pilot, years later. In the South, war refugees live in tents, eat scraps. In the North, famine spreads. Children grow up in rubble. Some never learn to speak, only scream. Captured soldiers on both sides are tortured, brainwashed, forgotten. And those who returned home? Often viewed with suspicion for the average Korean family. The war was not about ideology. It was about survival. Peace talks begin in 1951, but they drag on for 2 years. Why? Over the fate of prisoners of war. Neither side trusts the other. Neither side wants to back down. Meanwhile, more die every day. Finally, on July 27, 1953, an armistice is signed. But no peace treaty. Just a ceasefire. The Korean War never officially ended. The border becomes a demilitarized zone, the DMZ, 2 miles wide, lined with landmines, barbed wire, and snipers. Even today, it remains one of the most dangerous borders on Earth. The Korean War lasted 3 years, but its scars still bleed. Million people died. More than half were civilians. North Korea became one of the most isolated regimes on Earth. South Korea, scarred but free, eventually rose into a global powerhouse, but families remained divided. Brothers who fought each other never met again. Mothers died never knowing if their sons lived, and even now, the war lives on. In silence. Air raid drills, propaganda, tensions, every missile test, every border standoff, every missed reunion. It was a war no one wanted, that never really ended. A war that turned a peninsula into a powder keg and gave the world a new front in the Cold War. Soft music swells. Images of Korean veterans, school children near the DMZ, aging mothers holding faded photos. The Korean War may be forgotten in textbooks, but for those who lived it, and those still haunted by its echoes, it is unforgettable. If this story touched you, please like, share, and subscribe. Honor the forgotten. Remember the fallen. History isn't just about nations, it's about people. Stay tuned for more stories that shape the world.